Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and this is my channel where I share my love of all things paper crafting. And today we have to make the first item for my creative collab journal swap. It's a year-long swap that I'm in. I have a playlist called Creative Collab Journal. You can check out all the things I made last year. And the journal that I am using this year, I've also got in that playlist how I made this, because I have gone for a nautical ocean theme. But the lady I am swapping with this month loves all the traditional junk journal styles. She loves botanicals, nature, pastels, flowers, lace, birds, bees, butterflies, all those usual things, which is great because my stash has plenty of that, so I shouldn't have any trouble making what I need. Now, the first thing we're doing today, this is called a hinge flip pocket. I think the idea originally came from Roxy Creations on YouTube, but I have seen a couple of videos where other people have done the same thing, but we're going to credit Roxy for now, because I'm pretty sure she was the first one that did this. And the name of the game is to have a pocket, obviously, where you slide things in, but then you have a flap that you then tuck around your page. So you will have your pocket on the front, then you will stick down the hinge part, and you will have a pocket on the reverse side of your page. So I went through my stash and I've picked this piece. I think it will be perfect for what I'm trying to do. Two reasons. Firstly, on the flap, on the hinge, there's this beautiful image here that will be evident and on display on the back side of her page. This will be the middle of the pocket, and it's quite neutral other than these gorgeous flowers sort of thing around the edge. I will be embellishing the front of the pocket, so I'm more than happy that I'm not going to hide anything really pretty down here. And of course, this part here, you will be able to see if you don't completely glue your pocket down. If you leave it hinged, you'll see this bit, but otherwise, if you glue it down, there's nothing lost there either. So I thought this was perfect. But of course, the original piece I had is way too big for a pocket. So I have trimmed this bit off and we will use that at some other stage. This is what we're going to be working with for now. So I might just grab my little mat up and pop that down and just make sure I get you in frame. I have a habit of not checking that. That's not ideal. So the very first thing we have to do is create our hinge. So what I'm simply going to do is fold this over. I'm going to lose a little bit of her hat, but I'm okay with that because I'll probably cover that up. I just don't want the hinge part too long. So I think that's about perfect, even though this doesn't have to be a set size, but I think for what I'm aiming on doing, this will be ideal. So if you have a junk journal page, for example, then this goes on there like that. This is your pocket at the front, and you will see this part on the back. So the next thing we are going to do is to get this back bit folded under. And what I want to do, I want it just a little bit shy of the actual fold, just so that it sits nicely on the edge of the page. There we go. Little bit of bone folding going on down there. So that's what you will see at the front. That's the front of a pocket. This will be, of course, the back, and then this will be the flap. So I think to show that it's a pocket, we need to add our little cutout bit. I'm not going to measure this, I'll just eyeball it, but I think that looks pretty good. And then when that's on the other side of the page, it's evident that it's a pocket. And I think we're going to add one roughly in the middle here as well. Again, just making it evident that it's a pocket. And again, we're just going to eyeball this, because that's half the fun of junk journaling. Everything doesn't have to be super perfect. But if you need to measure, please go ahead and do so. I'm trying not to let my perfectionist tendencies take over. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to turn this into a pocket. So we are just going to grab some glue. Yes, it's a pity I'm hiding all those flowers, but this is the way these things go. So we just put a nice, relatively fine line on the far edge and the base. I don't think we need to do that part there because it's a fold. There's no holes there. So we're just gently coaxing that down. There we go. And we now have our pocket. Voila. And of course, there is our flap that will go on the other side. So that was really easy, wasn't it? So the next thing we're going to do is I want to embellish the front of this. And then, of course, we have to make some goodies to put in the pockets. So I'll get some stash things happening and we'll continue on. Okay, so now it's time to decorate. I forgot I intended to ink the edges before I glued the pocket down, but it's okay. I think pretty much most people know how to ink edges with some Distress Oxide and a little dauber or a brush. So I have inked the edges and now we need to decorate. So the first thing I want to do is break up all the pattern with a piece of book page. So I will ink this up before I put it down. Now I don't want it to go over the edge. I don't want to interfere with all the lovely pattern that's there. But with the other bit, I will definitely let it fold around the side. So I will ink all the way around. It also then just reduces the chances of it sort of not sticking nice and neatly on the edge. And then I will ink it once it's glued down. Voila. Okay, so that's that for now. Oops. Vintage photo, of course, the most popular edge inker. Mind you, I've only got 2 browns, so I don't have a lot to pick from. I always mean to get more, and then I just never seem to order from places that sell it. So one of these days we must do that, because I'd like a really dark brown. Okay, so now we're going to glue this down. That way we're going to hide that little bit of hat, which I really don't need to see. I'm just going to run that up nice and close, but not right to the edge. It all looks nice and neat there because we've got all that inking done, so that's fine. And then we're just going to fold that over and gently crease that down so we end up with a nice edge. And then I think we'll just quickly ink that part down as well. Perfect. There we go. Upside down. All right. So now we have some book page down just to give us a more neutral background, even though it's not fully neutral. So the first thing I found in my stash was this delightful, it looks a bit like a postcard, but it is only paper. But I thought that would definitely give us our butterfly. And I think I might even lightly ink around the edges of this too. Might just help it pop a little bit more. But I loved the fact it had a butterfly on it. I know she loves, it has 2 butterflies. I know she loves butterflies. And it also has pink flowers. And this whole paper has pink flowers, so I thought that was a good choice. I can't tell you where I got this from, somewhere, but it was in my stash. And we will use it. So let's glue that down. And my golden rule for gluing things down is, unless you're prepared to measure, purposefully put things off center. That way, it doesn't matter if you don't get it quite right. Rather than try and make sure it's dead in the middle. There we go. I do like that. That's very cute. Now, the next thing I did do was, from the strip that I had left over, I fussy cut 2 of the flowers, and that way we've got the tiny bit there, but we're adding a little bit more of the same flowers that are part of the sheet, because you can never have too many flowers. And if I tried to find something else in my stash, the pink wouldn't be right, or it just wasn't going to work. So I thought I had that perfect little end there. So we'll add those in there. Voila. There we go. See, we're blending things together. And I think that looks fabulous. All right, now the next thing I thought I would add, I got these cute little strips of tickets. I got them when I was down in Sydney, and I think, oh, what is that shop called? Is it not Pimp Your Planner? No, what's it called? Something like that. I did do a haul video for my trip to Sydney, if you really want to know where it's from, because I can't remember. So I want to add this little ticket. So we're just sort of doing a little bit more layering. Again, just inking the edge. It just often helps things to pop. I like that. And this, of course, has sort of like a little fern plant arrangement on it. So she does like botanical. So I think that's a great match. And we'll just pop that down on here. Maybe a bit, yes, maybe a bit further over there, so that we don't cut off too much of that cute butterfly. I just noticed that. I think I like that. And then the other thing I found was this very cute, I have no idea where this is from, but it has a little sparkly bird on it. And I think we need to add that as well. And because it has that nice white edge, I don't think I will ink that. We might just let that be as is. But I thought that was the perfect little addition for down in this corner. There we go. And then one last thing. I was just flipping through some of my little words, and I found the word precious, and I think we are going to add this up here somewhere. Do we want it? No, we don't want it down there. Yes, maybe over there. Good idea. So we'll pop that down. Voila, there we are. Done. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now we just have to make some things to put in our pockets. Okay, so to fill the main pocket, the first thing I found was this rather cool, interesting looking postcard that I received in a Christmas swap. I thought that would look perfect in here. So we're going to pop that in. It's an interesting shape, and I think that colour goes well with what we've done there. Just leave that out a bit there. And then we need another thing. So I grabbed another sheet that comes from this same collection, all all those beautiful roses on there. So again, we're keeping things matching. And we're going to make a tag, I think. So we're simply going to cut off our corners. Voila. There we go. And I think we'll just build a tiny little cluster down the bottom here. So we're going to use another one of those tags. That way we're sort of keeping things matchy-matchy, which I always like. So we're going to ink the edge. Again, we want it to stand out a little bit more. And we've sort of got this blank part down here at the bottom. So I think that will be perfect. Let's get some glue. Okay. Stick that down. And I found this cute little moth. I like the fact that he's sort of dark and tonal rather than too colourful. So he stands out really nicely. I don't think we need to bother about inking that up. So we'll just add some glue to that. There we go. And of course, why not a little label? So we might just ink up the edge of this one though. Whoops-a-daisy. I have a bit of glue on my fingers. That is not helping my cause here. Okay, that will do nicely. Just a tiny bit of glue on that. And we'll pop that down here because they always say the rule of 3. So if you're going to build a little cluster, use 3 things or at least 3 of the same type of thing. It's kind on your eyes, apparently. So we can pop that away just for a second here. Now we need to add a hole, and I know it doesn't have to be spot on, but I find I have a habit of making them way off the mark if I don't make a little mark. So just a tiny little guide spot there with my pencil. Voila. And I found some lovely bias binding, silk binding. I don't know what you call this stuff. I don't think we really, now that's a big, do we go yellow or do we go green? I think we'll go with the green. So let's just cut a bit off. I'll grab my fabric scissors for that so that we get a bit of a sharper edge. Yes, I do have a specific pair of fabric scissors on my desk for these occasions. And I have to try really hard not to use them for everything else. Now, if I could just find my tweezers. Oh, here they are. They're just a bit buried under here. I find this the easiest way to get things through. If you use your tweezers, put them through your hole, pinch your ribbon, voila, and through it comes instead of trying to feed it through. I always seem to end up messing that up. So that's an easy way of doing it. There we go. And we have our completed tag ready for our pocket. Oh, should we? Oh, hang on. I'm having a forgetting to ink the edge day, aren't I? That's okay. We can just work around our little ribbon there. That really won't matter. But yes, I do think we need to ink the edge. Keep things looking congruent. So I won't put this in the pocket just yet. I will let that dry because otherwise this all might rub off. We don't want that. Oh dear, inking edges. See, this is why I don't ink edges all the time. I can't be bothered. I'm too lazy. There we go. Get it as close as we can. Oh, that does look better though. It does match much nicer. All right, so that is our main tag. I will pop that in there in just a moment. Now we need to make something to add into this pocket. Okay, so for the last little bit that goes inside this pocket, I've cut out this piece from the same paper I used to make the tag. This is the highlight point. I cut around it sort of to include that in the middle. And again, I just want to put a little cluster on here. So I thought we'd start with a little bit of this cute lined paper. I had this tiny little scrap. Again, no idea where it came from, but I thought it was a good match. And look, I inked the edge. I decided to do that before I even turned the camera on so that I wouldn't forget. But I'm not inking the edge on this one. We're going to have all of these little bits not inked just for a change. So we have that. I also have this cute little sticker with a botanical looking plant. So I've decided to add that. And these stickers are fabulous. They come apart nice and easily. So we're going to put that right down there. I was going to put it up in the top corner, but it's too big. It just wasn't going to work. Now, this is a glossy type of sticker. So when you stamp on glossy things, they can run a bit. So what I've done, I have grabbed some double-sided tape and a thin piece of tissue, and I have stamped a postmark sign on the tissue. So that way, oh, where shall we put it? We'll put it down, right down here. I know this is a bit upside down technically, or actually it should be up in that top corner, but it just yeah, wasn't working for me. So there we go, we've got that. And of course the other thing I want to add to make this easy to pull out of that pocket, I found this little piece in my stash. So we might just ink that up a little bit, and we're going to put that across the top. So we sort of have a bit of an upside down postcard here, but that's okay. There we go. Now, a little bit of glue on this. Okay. Grab the tweezers so we can get this down relatively evenly in the middle, sort of. There we go. Voila. So we now have our piece for the back pocket. And that will slide in there like that. Again, I'll just leave that to dry a little bit. But we're all done. So we have now created very easily a cute little double pocket, and that is the first thing that I will be sending to my swap partner. In the next video, I'll be doing the next thing, which is completely different. So I hope you enjoyed that. Any questions, pop them down in the comments box below. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a thumbs up, and I will be back very soon with the next video. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.